Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby from the Brown Book series, and we are back for our final day broadcasting live from the Chicago Spring Fling. And y'all know I had to listen. Last night I had to drag this lady off the dance floor and tell her, girl, you supposed to be up here this morning, in the morning at 10 o'clock talking to me. So when I finish dancing, you need to stop dancing, and we're going to go upstairs and get us some sleep. And then she came in here this morning looking all just wonderful and bright, smelling good, looking good. She brought the sunshine. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I don't have to tell y'all who this is, but please welcome. Oh, she was a keynote speaker last night. What is it, USA Today? New York Times? Which one is it? It's both of them, ain't it?
No, they've mentioned me. I ain't made the list yet because y'all need to go out there and buy my book.
Y'all need to go buy her book. So, potentially New York Times, USA Today, but she's an award-winning author, Dr. Vanessa Riley.
Thank you, Shay. You are amazing. And this girl worked it last night. She worked it.
Listen, that dress, baby. Laverne and Shirley they said, Mama, we want to go party. I said, I'm going to let y'all go party too. But you were so cute. So, Vanessa, I missed your keynote last night. I got my times crossed, right?
It's okay.
And because, my watch says, 11:15, but Chicago was like, no, girl, we're all behind you. Quit doing that.
Yeah.
And so...
That's because you got a real watch, Instead of one of these digital ones, right?
I did a digital one. I'm old school. I don't know what about it.
It's a real watch.
I gotta have a
First of all, you can actually tell when the little hand is this way. That's a skill, boys and girls.
Right.
Most people have lost that skill.
Most people have lost that skill. Now, Vanessa, first of all, for the 3 or 4 people who've been living up on the rock and don't know who the hell you are, could you please let them know? Well, please, tell us a little bit about Dr. Vanessa Riley.
Well, I am Dr. Vanessa Riley. I specialize in, I love history, basically. And so all my books are about history. But you're not, people come for the story. So I try and find engaging stories, power women through the ages from 1750 to about 1830. We weren't all enslaved.
Right.
Okay, let's get that. We weren't all enslaved. Some of us were able to become free and just do things for the race, do things for sisterhood, empower people, live great lives. But we never hear about them.
Right.
The enslavement story is an important story because if you don't understand the struggle and the pain, then you won't understand the generational effects that it has on the family. But it's not the only story. And I'm tired of people doing what I call pain porn.
Uh-oh.
So,
Wait. You said pain porn?
Pain porn. They want to write something dramatic and they want to be historical, so they'll throw in the worst abuses in the enslavement, and then they'll have some holy roller come in there and stop the madness and free the slaves, and all the slaves like, yeah, we get free, yeah, thank you, master. What do you mean I gotta still report to work next week? What? Yeah, for free. Yeah, and that actually happened. That's the sad part. That actually happened. Every one of us needs to know, whether we're black, white, brown, yellow, sunny yellow, or whatever. Needs to know actual history, not what we think history was, but actual history. And when you do it, when you find out, you will know that. We are, when they say we were kings and queens in Africa, that part is true, right? Mm-hmm. But we didn't jump in a spaceship and then just show back up in 1865 so y'all could free us. That did not happen. We were engaged in every part of the fabric of life. At one point, 4 out of every $5 came from the West Indies.
Wow.
Sugar. Basically enslavement dollars. So y'all want to call it the sugar trade, make it sound all sweet? No. That is the labor, the blood, the sweat, the tears of folks that have been stolen from Africa to work in the West Indies, in the sugar plantations, in the coffee fields, in the cotton fields, in the indigo fields. So once again, I love writing stories that show a broader perspective, one that hasn't been sanitized to the point where we exclude people, because everybody has a part in this journey. And here's the bad part. We are all guilty. Colonization has affected everything, even how we think about ourselves, what we think about beauty today. We all have to check ourselves. And the only way you can do it is read history. So you can go buy my book, and that'll save you some time.
Which one? Hell, I would feel like, what? Island Queen.
Island Queen, yes. And Island Queen is coming out in paperback in June.
What?
Yes. And it's got discussion guide questions. So, book clubs across the country, make that move. It's going to be great. It's a great discussion of a power woman in an age where women weren't supposed to be seen, where women weren't supposed to have power. And you will see how a black woman literally becomes a threat to the power structures of some of the colonies. And of course, there's lots of foolishness in there, because she did likes the men's.
She likes the men's. And they likes the her too.
They likes the girl. That woman was a magnet.
Let me tell you. But the way you described her, though, well, you described her how she was, because you did your heavy research.
Yeah.
She was so sexy, honey.
She was.
Yeah, she was like a black Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. Now, what made you want to write about her though?
Literally, when I started writing Regencies, and most people are familiar from Regencies like Georgette Hare or even Jane Austen, and they don't believe that black people are in this picture. So throughout my career, there's always been this fight. Y'all wasn't there. And then I show them that they was there.
Well, what kills me about it, though, how can you say we wasn't there, but then we were slaves, but then we, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the next thing. When they accept that we were there, well, y'all only could have been slaves. Oh, what? England got rid of slaves about 1807? Oh, okay. Well, then y'all was just servants, okay? Oh, you found some millionaires? Well, you did. Well, y'all couldn't have messed with your... Oh, you found some mistresses?
Talk.
Yeah. So it's like all these never, and then like one of my favorites is the Prince Regent. The reason we call it the Regency. He liked to hang out with the bros. He had friends, especially the boxers. So like he had a party where all his favorite athletes were at the party, dressed as Roman centurions and just mingling with the crowd and stuff like that. So think about these big buff black men.
Ooh.
Yeah, girl.
I'm sorry. Think about big buff black men just make me happy.
And this is a party, so like everybody had a great time. The Prince Regent was known for throwing a great party, but he championed black people of excellence that he came to know about. So it's like we're there. You have to not look for us,
right?
And for a long time, that's the case. Not looking for us.
But what about the Regency that caught your attention to make you want to write about it? Because you write wonderful stories, and your love stories are, I love them.
Thank you.
But so how did the Regency era catch your eye, catch your attention?
Two things. My mom, she made sure we were readers, right? Mm-hmm. But we was a holy household. So
yes, they were. So I heard the stories. Yes, they were.
So what could come in the house was very specific things. So mother on the approved list was everything old. Like if it was done before 1600s and 1700s, you could slip in. And so we had Thoreau, we had Shakespeare. I mean, she made sure we did that, and luckily for school. We had to do some projects, and one of them was, I think, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen's book. And I was like, oh, this is fascinating.
Also, so Jane Austen, reading her book kind of got you into it.
It got it. I love the banter, right? Because you have this woman who should be deferring to the rich folks and the people, and she's just calling them out and calling them stupid and basically to their face, right?
She was like, yeah, she my kind of girl.
She my kind of girl. And then I get to her very last book, Sanditon. The wealthiest woman in the book is a mulatto woman from the West Indies. See? And I was like, oh, my people! I found my people! This makes sense. My father's from Trinidad and Tobago. He used to tell me all these little crazy stories, so it's his fault, too. So
he told you the stories like, no, we was kings and queens. We was this.
No, he would tell me some crazier stories
Okay.
about when he was growing up and foolishness and history, and that's like, I gotta protect the, you know.
Yeah,
You gotta protect him.
yeah.
But Daddy was hilarious. But he was a great storyteller. He's one of them that like on the edge of what gonna happen next, Daddy?
See, that would be hot.
Yeah. So
That's hot. So do you find it difficult researching that because it's so, washed down or so like kind of being pushed away, and you don't know, like, how do you know what is facts? Because it's like you can't just Google it for real. So like, how do you find it difficult in the research?
research can be very, very hard, and particularly because folks that don't look like you or me have been doing the research, and you see their bias come in.
Yes.
So one time, there are times where you throw things across the room. One of the historians literally called Dorothy's first two children part of a relationship with her half brother. She was enslaved.
She was what now?
She was enslaved, and she had a relationship with her half brother. Can everybody just say what incest and rape really looks like?
Oh my God!
Yes.
Did she know that was her half?
He forced her. He raped her.
He raped her.
Yeah, it was
right. But with Dorothy, we're back on
Dorothy, right? That I threw the book across the thing because what has happened is people who, once again, who don't look like us, who don't have the sensibilities, or just flat out racist, that happens too. Try to sanitize the history, and they don't think anybody is going to be paying attention. So they instead of calling it rape and incest, they call it a relationship. Well, that's a jacked up relationship.
That's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying?
That don't make no sense.
And you throw it across the room. So you have to go through, and I look for the clinical dates. She was here in this date because you can't make this is the date. She was here. But then you have to go with your own sensibilities and understand the scenario. She is enslaved at this time to their father.
Right.
She doesn't have any choices, and then he's an older brother forcing himself upon this girl. She has no choice. It's not a relationship and whatnot. And so you have to filter things through.
I know reading your books, but let me just, we friends. So I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I done told you this before. Your romance, I can get through it. But that dang on Island Queen, because you and Beverly Jenkins, y'all got this. It's so much history and so much facts in your stuff. I'd be like, okay, you read like 2 or 3 chapters, then I have to stop and go and research it, and then try to find it. Then you go back, like, okay, now I found you should see my Island Queen book. I need a new one. It's like a Bible. It's highlighted. It has tags.
I love it.
No, I just want to read the book straight through. You get on my nerve.
No, but the problem
it's so interesting though. My God.
It's like you find so much cool and things that we should know that haven't been put in the textbooks or stricken out of the textbooks. Yes. And so
they don't even teach it in schools though, or nothing. Like
there are a couple universities that actually have put Island Queen as part of their curriculum.
Oh, go girl!
Yeah, I mean, but we need to know it, right? Because when you know it, I firmly believe history repeats itself. So, like when we got to that part where you're in Grenada, and any white person could come up to any black or colored individual, because that's what the mulatto people were called during that time frame, and ask them for their papers. And if you didn't have your birth certificate to prove you were born free, or your manumission documents that proves that there was a legal transaction that freed you, they could throw you in jail, and you would have exactly 2 to 3 weeks to get your papers. Now, if you weren't born in Grenada, how you gonna send somebody from jail to go get your paperwork if you were in Montserrat or Dominica or one of these other islands? You can't. So basically, they could sell the Grenada could sell you back into slavery because you didn't have your papers.
That absolutely. So you know what? And in reading Island Queen, like I said, I learned so much. I was like, Lord, my book. I need a new book because that one right there. Thank you. But when I got to the part about the hats and the scarves, let me just be honest. I even have a hard time putting a silk scarf on at nighttime to wrap my hair up because I'm like, I did not know, because with the hat, for everyone who hasn't read Island Queen, it follows the story of a young lady named Dorothy. And when you are free from slavery and just free in life, you wear hats. But when you are bound, you still wear scarves. So if all the girls walking around with the little head wraps and stuff, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That is crazy. So
it's
did you know that though prior to researching?
I did not know that going in. So one of the things you asked me about my research, I love looking at the paintings of the time frame.
Oh, yes. And I love that you was trying to add them to your book too. That was hot. Yes, I love that.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at the paintings, and I start noticing stuff, and then you just like you, I start digging,
Yes.
and I find out that even though when you're enslaved, like they figured out a whole language. Like if the point was this way, that means you was looking for a man. If you, I mean, girl, we figured it out.
Yes. Yeah,
but once you became free, you never wore. You might have a scarf underneath the hat, but you always wore a hat because that told everybody from a distance you were a free woman. My mom, I got it. Unfortunately, when my mom passed, I couldn't have the hats because they were just so I donated. Too much of a reminder. I donated them. I wish I had kept them because my mom was one of those who would put flowers or do different arrangements so the hat would just look just so, or it would match whatever she was into her hats.
Yes.
And that is a part of our tradition. That's why we had the big church hats and things like that, because you were celebrating, you were free to worship. It was a celebration.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I can't do a scarf now out in public because that I feel like I'm doing something dishonoring the peeps. Dishonoring the folks from the ages. I mean, because and I now bought hats because of this, because I want to keep some traditions alive, and hats are important. But yeah, looking at the paintings, they tell you everything. They tell you what people value and all these sorts of things. I
love. We was talking about hats, and someone just texted me a picture of my grandma, and she.
Oh, look at that hat!
Yes.
Look at her, and look at it. Everything matching.
Everything matched, and it was always put to the side with the flowers and stuff. And then I was like, and then I used to ask her, never knew. And I'm sure, sometimes, people, when they're older, they can just tell you, but they give you the short version. Yeah. And I'll be like, girl, why you, hats was her thing. She's like, honey, I'm free. And I was like, well, praise the Lord. But I never, you know what I mean? But I never knew. And then, back then, how I was. I didn't take
the
time
thing is, like, it's like, I might have cried when I figured it out. Because it's like, you just don't know. And it was in my face.
It is overwhelming.
All the time.
When you figure it out, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
It's very overwhelming.
Yeah. So I love for folks, go sit with your grandmas and your elderly uncles. They got stories.
They do.
And they're, unfortunately with the pandemic, we're losing a layer of that.
We are.
Because of the isolation. So, figure out how to make them on Zoom. They may not get, hit the buttons, but figure out how to get them people on Zoom. Listen to them, because we're losing so much. And that's why, I try and put as much as I can without, you're coming for a story. You're gonna leave with some education. I'm gonna just
you are
flat out. You leave with education, but I want you to be engaged and wrapped in a story, so that you want to know more, that you want us, and you want to see us succeed and win.
You really do. And what I like about it, because I gave one, we gifted the book to a book member or whatever, and so she did stuff for her first introductory to you. Mm-hmm. And so she said, I was skimming through it, and I'm glad you put pictures in it, because she said, I was skimming through it, and I saw her on the hammock.
Yup.
With the other guy. And so she was like, well, hold on. So she called, she's like, wait a minute. I said, no, you got to read the book. It's going to take you a minute, because she's one of them researchers, and it did. She was like, girl, I cannot. So I was like, okay, she got another book coming out too, so you're going to have to hurry up. And I told her to take a break.
Yes.
Go read one of her romance, just to get, and then come back to it. But she was just, when she called, you could just tell the difference in her voice. Yes. She's like, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I didn't know how we did not know any of this. I'm like, yo, that's why we have the Vanessa Rileys and the Beverly Jenkins to let us, to teach that to us. So we thank God for you, ma'am.
Thank you. I mean, and Beverly is so amazing, because she's unpacked so much in the African American experience that we are forgetting or don't know, or it was hidden. And the hot sauce story is my favorite.
Yes.
The hot sauce story. So y'all going to find Beverly and the hot sauce story.
Got to, yeah. I was wondering how she ever said that. Like, she said it on air somewhere.
She said it on the air.
Y'all
going to have to watch every one of her videos. Till you find it.
Damn.
I
know. Listen, because y'all know it wasn't on my show, because it was
See, next time.
foolery on my show.
Yes, y'all are so funny. I was just saying, y'all funny.
The very first one, though, she dropped a lot of nuggets, but we was basically on the Blessing series.
Yes.
So we was into that, and then you know me, I go straight to the bullshit.
Yes.
Immediately after that.
Very much so. And the thing is, the book, you can't tell, like, oh, wait a minute, they bullshit? Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Y'all be so slick about it.
We bullshit with a smile. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely love that. So, okay. So I'm sitting at home one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And text messages going up. And it's Vanessa Riley. I'm like, oh, shit.
What I done did.
And I was like, what Vanessa done did? But I turned on GMA. I was like, oh, shit. Vanessa, when they hit you up and said, girl, hey, what you doing? This is whatever. We at GMA, bye. What did you say? Was you like...
After I stopped the praise shouting, sha-na-na, you gotta figure out what you're gonna say. So they give you, the good thing is they give you a moment to come up with what you're gonna say. And then you have to shoot it and send it to them, right? Mm-hmm. You know it took like 40 tries, right, to get that.
Really?
Get that right, yes. Because like you'll do something, and I was like, the persona of me, right, is always writing on my porch in Atlanta, right? I got one of these long porches.
You do.
Right?
You took a picture on your porch, and I'm like, so when I come to Atlanta, I'm like,
we're gonna as long as it's not burning hot.
Yeah. No, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's not burning hot or polleny.
No,
we're gonna be out there on the porch.
I'm going through the changes. I can't do that. Can't do the hot.
No, then you choose the season to come in.
Okay.
The best thing is fall because it's beautiful. The trees still have leaves and stuff like that. But so anyway, we're out there, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, construction noises happen. So okay, can't use that take. Wind blows something and stuff fall down in the back. I mean, girl, it's like everything. It didn't just my own fool of the tree of like, what was I supposed to say? So 40 takes later, it looks amazing.
It did look amazing. Oh my God! So they featured Island Queen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, did you ask him when he was there? He was like, okay, can y'all feature the rest of my books too?
You unfortunately don't get any of that, but it was hilarious because it was supposed to show on Friday. So my agent actually went down to Times Square because they put Island Queen's book up on the moniker and all that sort of stuff. But they had some guy talking long about barbecuing something, mushrooms or something like this. So the segment went long, so they didn't air it. So they told us it would be next Friday, right? They actually aired it on Monday. All of a sudden, my phone is blowing up. And I was like, yo, Steve, Friday! We was good. But,
you try to get everybody on the phone. Hey, look, come on.
People like, and my pastor was like, hey, I just saw you on Gmail.
I tell you, my phone was blowing up. I'm like, oh shit, what happened? Because I'm like, when they Vanessa, I'm like, oh hell, when that happened. And I saw it, I was like, oh my, I was sitting down. Yes. And I wish my husband could have videoed me. I was standing up in front of the TV just like, yes.
And the cool thing was because they had more time on Monday, they actually got to linger. So they were like, ooh, she's a doctor and a mechanical engineer. And made my child sound like she was 5 and she read Mama and all. It was beautiful though. So God's order of when things happen is amazing. Because if they had tried to squeeze it in on that Friday, they would have had to boom and you're gone.
You're not a squeezing kind of girl. God made room for you.
He did. He opened the door, made room.
I absolutely loved it. So now we're here in Chicago for the Chicago Spring Fling. Big ups to Pamela and Shannon because you guys did a wonderful job. The gala was last night and all that was great. And Dr. Vanessa Riley did the keynote speech. Now, Vanessa, in your keynote speech, what do you talk about? Because actually, Donna from Kit Rocha, she is the keynote for the luncheon.
Yes.
And she's like, Vanessa's going first. Why they put me behind Vanessa? I'm like, hey, baby, So she was like, this would be her first time doing it as well. So we was trying to figure out, like, how do you prepare for a keynote? What exactly do you say? So I said, I asked you.
Okay. So I you have a moment, right? And you want to say something impactful, something to help people, because you just don't know where people are. And as I said last night, I'm in a season where things appear to be working, and the hard work I put in is now being rewarded. But I know it's a season, and things change and whatnot. Now I want my season to go like 20 seasons, and like on TV. Yeah, this is the longest running show. I would love that, right? But that's not where everybody is. And so I took people back to the woeful beginnings.
Yes, you did.
And I also want to honor the conference theme. So the conference theme is create, write, and love. And so
I like that too.
it's a beautiful thing. So I wrap that into my speech, and I challenge folks. There are a million excuses why we're not writing, why we're not putting our books out there, why we're not on bookshelves, et cetera, et cetera. You got to own your part.
Right.
If you're not writing, if you're not doing the promotion things you need to do, if you just think you write it and they'll come, baby, no, that ain't gonna happen.
That is not gonna happen, girl. Your milkshake do not bring all the boys to the yard.
No, they don't.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes they want chocolate instead of vanilla.
How about that, dear girl? Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I want everybody, you own up what's your part. So you need to be working on your craft. You need to be doing the things you need. You come into conferences. Like for me, one of the things I had to change in my mindset, because I like goals and deliveries. I'm very much like you. Boom. If I'm coming here, these are the these objectives I'm going to cover.
Yeah.
I just thought that my objectives were, I'm going to learn. I'm not going to here to sell. I'm not trying to get an agent. I am here to learn and improve my craft and those types of things. Because you have to have your craft to a certain point before the agents, before the book deals, etc. Otherwise, you will be a one-hit wonder. You'll have that one book that you worked and got professionally edited and all this sort of stuff. And then they'll be like, okay, what's book 2? And you're like, oh, crap. That took me 5 years to get that thing right. Because you didn't learn nothing.
Right.
So it's a process. And
that's what you told them last night?
I told them last night.
So you basically told them to get their shit together?
Pretty much. I call folk out. I was like, take my mother, take my father. It's me, oh Lord! Standing in the way of my career.
So I'm like,
girl, I turned it out last night.
Did you?
Yes.
Damn, I missed it.
That's really why Donna's scared. Because I turned it out.
Because you turned it out.
I turned it out.
That's what's up.
She gonna be amazing too, but I was like, yeah, you gonna give me 20 minutes up on this day? You come for sure.
I said, man, when I got down there, because of course, we working. So we...
Y'all working.
We pictures and over the side or whatever. And I was like, damn it, Vanessa is speaking. So by the time we got up there, you was done. I was like, go do it again. I missed it.
I actually set it up, so I have it on tape. I will send it to you afterwards.
Yes. Because she wouldn't go back up there, y'all. She started dancing and shit. I'm like, that's not what I asked you to do.
I know. I'm so bad at following directions.
So bad at following directions, but I absolutely love it. So today you're going to do the book signing, right?
Book signing, yes. So if you're in the Chicago area, come on down. Love to meet you and shake your hands and whatnot, and
we met. Even your mask is orange. Yo, she got so much sunshine right now that it's just, I absolutely love it.
I bring it, y'all. This is y'all invite Vanessa. I bring it. I'm gonna bring it.
She's Vanessa. That's what we do. We bring all of it, honey. You can command the room, honey. Exactly. I absolutely love it. So Vanessa, you have a new because we know you gotta go and get your life together. Before
Please hit that Starbucks up. Come on, Starbucks.
Get two.
Come on,
bring it up two. She needs 2 Starbucks. Yes. You have a new book coming out.
10:37 a.m.
Okay. Something was talking.
That was telling me to hurry up.
No. So yes, I have 2 books coming out.
2 books. Okay.
So I'm gonna hit y'all. Actually 3 if you count. If you count the Island Queen paperback, because I really need y'all to buy that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit y'all up. Just put your credit card number at the end of this feed. Just
That's
DM
it.
it and whatnot.
Whatever, you drop it. You know what I'm saying? We'll drop her. We'll put our cash up in there. Just like
there you
your
go.
books.
There you go. There you go.
So,
you sit. Yeah, we'll get them signed. You do that for.
Oh yeah, I gotta get them signed. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll go drop the cash out. You send it to us. We'll get the book signed. Send them out to you. We'll handle all that.
There you go.
That'll be hot.
That would be that'd be cool. That'd be cool. So, in July, you're going to get my second historical fiction. This is called Mother, Sister, Warrior.
Ooh, you told us.
No, Sister, Mother. Ooh, I'm messing my own title up. Sister, Mother, Warrior. My bad. Sister, Mother, Warrior. This is the story about the two women who shaped the Haitian Revolution. See, most of the time, the history books, when they talk about it, they downplay the Haitian Revolution because, once again, it was the only successful one in the Western Hemisphere where we rose up and kicked the French out. All right.
Still, like right. No, you can't come over there and get nothing.
Yeah, and so people know Toussaint Louverture, they know Jean-Jacques Dessalines, they know Christophe and Pétion and all these folks. But what they don't know is that this is the reason this war was successful is because of the women. Women were fighting it for 50 years before the last 10 that y'all know about. We were on the lines, and literally, Abadoria Toya, you watch Black Panther, you know the Dori Miage, the women, the Protect the King. Well, that was based on a real tribe in Africa, the Dahomey warriors. Wow. They frightened the heck out of people. They, like when the soldiers, the English and the Portuguese were in Africa, they saw them women coming. They were like, "Oh hell,
Big Mama coming,
big mamas, right?" And they were trained killers. They trained them in a way that's almost like brainwashing them, that they feel no pain. So they would jack you like nobody's business. So Abadoria Toya is one of them. She gets enslaved. She ends up in Saint Domingue, which is present-day Haiti, and she teaches a young boy how to fight, teaches him military strategy. This young man grows up to be Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who is regarded as one of the military geniuses of his time. And he didn't go to West Point. So where could he have found all this military training from? Abadoria.
How did she get it?
She was a Dahomey warrior. She was a warrior. She was a warrior woman. Yes.
Wow.
So she's protecting the king and leading engagements and having troops and whatnot. And she literally, when she fights in the Haitian Revolution, she's given a command of soldiers. She's leading them through. Again, amazing woman. We should know her name.
So wait. Okay, so when is that coming out?
That comes out in July.
That comes out in July. Okay. So
one more woman in the book. So we got.
I forgot about the other woman.
Yeah. But y'all don't like this one because
this
is the love story part.
I'm gonna start asking questions about that lady. So, but wait, before we go to the other woman, the warrior mama.
Okay.
Big Mama.
Big Mama. Let's go. Big Mama, Grand Toya. Right. I mean, literally, Grand Toya.
I love it. So you explore everything in her history, so we know about her family, all that good stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then now go to the other lady.
Yeah, and that is you'll have me back and we'll talk about how we had to figure out what her path was.
Definitely,
because they don't have records like we got, and they definitely don't have Google.
Google get a lot. Bonjour, get it from the internet. I know. All right, so what about the love story?
So the love story is Mary Claire Bonaire. She is literally I believe the first battlefield nurse, predating Florence Nightingale and Mary Seacole. She has a group of women on a mule train and literally goes into the middle of a battlefield, girl. So a mule train.
What is that?
That's like wagons and mules are pulling them over the hills and everything, because Haiti's a very hilly country and whatnot. So she sees the battle going on. She pulls her women in the middle of the battle, and they stop fighting for her. Now, first of all, I'd be like, yeah, that wouldn't be me. Because I wouldn't trust that she was a prayed up woman. I would not trust that they're going to stop shooting because I just showed up with some women on the mules. I don't believe I got that level of faith.
Was probably so shocked, like, what the hell?
Yes, basically, that's probably what happened.
And that's how you get a drop on somebody.
Exactly.
When they're stunned, you're like, oh shit. Then next thing you know, they're on top of you. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. But she's Jean-Jacques' wife. So Dessalines has power and peace on both sides of him. And their love, they have a long love story, and
I cannot wait.
So I gotta bring that because we were treasured. Many people in history, some of the books I throw out, they try and pretend black women weren't treasured, that we weren't beautiful, that we weren't treated well. I found the evidence, and I have rolled that into this story so that you can see how this relationship develops between these very different people.
I absolutely love it. Look, y'all, we got to run out of time. That's why when they give me 30 minutes, Vanessa, we had to talk to Vanessa on the Brown Book series. We can talk to her forever because it's she's a treasure.
Thank
She's
you.
a treasure.
So are you, lady.
You are. I love
always
shenanigans and history.
Very much so.
Yes, very much so. So if you're in the Chicago area, we have the Sheraton Grand North, right, nephew? Yeah, Sheraton Grand North.
She got good people around here.
Got good people around here. They're gonna, she's gonna be on the book signing from 3 until 5. We'll be broadcasting live from the book signing. So make sure if you're in the Chicago area, come on down, see Dr. Vanessa Riley. And in July, we're gonna get this book. I'm gonna have the book Monday when I get home. I'm gonna read it.
Next week. This week, I'm gonna mail it on Monday.
Oh, you gonna mail it on Monday? Well, next week, and then I'll be talking shit to y'all about it the week after.
There you go.
Y'all get this book. So Vanessa, is so wonderful seeing you again.
Thank you.
I'll be up there in your room in a little while.
Go.
Everybody, coming up next is, I don't know. I got my list, but I don't know where it's at. And I got my glasses on because I'm trying to be cute. So y'all stay tuned. Give us like 5 more minutes and we'll be back. We'll be broadcasting all day live from the Chicago Spring Fling here in Chicago at the Sheraton Grand. Peace out. I love y'all. Stay positive, but stay tuned.